What's up, fanboys and fangirls? It's me, Will, again, and of course, like the movie companies just know to release these trailers right now. It's like Nerd Christmas, right before actual Christmas. It's crazy. But we're talking about the incredible, the spectacular, the amazing Spider-Man here on the Will West Show.
Knock, knock, open up the door.
It's Will!
So the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, this is the trailer that's supposed to be attached to Rogue One. Apparently there's going to be another cut of this, or there's another trailer we're getting somewhere in here. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm just tackling the one I saw that was released on Jimmy Kimmel. So let's just jump right into it. So this trailer opens up with Spider-Man busting a bunch of criminals. They're wearing Avengers masks. He's going, hey, wait a minute, you're not the real Avengers. I can tell your Hulk gives it away. Like, he's being very snarky, very funny. Just like this is the kind of Spider-Man that we want. Like, this is the Spider-Man we saw in the airport fight, / this is kind of the Spider-Man we saw in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Say what you will about those movies, but when Andrew Garfield put the mask on and was being snarky, they actually did that pretty well. So I enjoyed what they did there, and just how excited he still is, because he's about 15, 16, I believe. After he beats them all up, he's like, oh my god, that was awesome, I love this! We get introduced to his friend Genki. I believe Genki was introduced in Ultimate Comics. I actually know for a fact he was. He's Miles Morales' usually best friend, but he's actually Peter's in this interpretation of the Spider-Man Marvel Cinematic Universe / Sony Spider-Man thing, so I enjoyed that. There's actually a moment where they're sitting at like the lunch table talking about Zendaya's character, going like, "Oh man, has she worn that before?" And Genki's like, "Oh yeah, she has, but you haven't noticed, man. You've just been out in the clouds / like she wouldn't notice us." And then some other girl down the table is like, "Oh, too late. Like, you guys are creepy. Blah blah blah." Like, I'm just like, that's so funny. Great moments right there, just between friends, because that's something that would be like in a high school comedy or like a Ferris Bueller, which a lot of people like behind the scenes are saying that this is going to be like. Speaking of that, they do use a song that's almost like in every teen comedy ever since like 2008. I'll put the song title here, but I heard that and I was going, oh, come on, really? But at the same point, this is like a teen comedy version of a superhero movie. It wouldn't be a superhero movie without the presence of another Avenger, Tony Stark, and his buddy Happy Hogan. I also forgot to mention there was a teaser trailer for this trailer earlier in the week where Jon Favreau's character, Happy Hogan, actually gives Spider-Man the upgraded suit that he made. It has the spider wings. I'm just saying, like, if you're a huge Spider-Man fan, that's like a really cool thing to finally see brought to life. I really enjoyed seeing that, how he's just like gliding over the helicopters and stuff. Like, oh my god, like, I'll admit Spider-Man's up there with my favorite Marvel heroes, but like, it was still very cool to see amongst like all the suits that have been featured prominently in the cinematic movies. What else do we got? Speaking of Happy Hogan, we got Tony Stark showing up in this as well. He's kind of stepping into like the mentor role for Spider-Man, but very reluctant. Like, it's almost like he was in Iron Man 3 with the other little kid. It almost makes you think that they were like setting this up since Iron Man 3, but we all know that not to be true. But hey, I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes at Marvel, but it seemed very reminiscent of that, because at one point Spider-Man's like, oh, hey, like, how am I supposed to help? Like, how am I supposed to become an Avenger? Are there trials? Are there phases? Like, what do I do here? And Tony responds like, all right, just don't do anything that I would do or anything I wouldn't do. There's just a moral gray area of stuff that you're allowed to do, and I thought that was brilliant. He looks like he's going in for a hug, and Peter goes for the hug too, and he's like, no, I'm not hugging you, man, I'm just getting the door, like, have a good day, have a good one. I'm just like, oh my god, that's so funny. What else is noticeable in this trailer? I mentioned Genki already, but there's a part like where I think Peter either jumps into Genki's room, or maybe his own room, and maybe Genki was waiting for him in his room while Aunt May was like just like making dinner or something. And there's like a little nod to Star Wars. He has like a little Lego Death Star set, and he like just drops it because he notices Peter's Spider-Man. He's like, dude, like, you're Spider-Man. He's like, no, I'm not. This is a costume. I just saw you on the wall, man. Like, that was pretty brilliant right there. So we've gushed enough about the heroes for now. Let's talk about the villain, the Vulture. His costume actually looks a bit practical. I didn't really dissect the pictures when they released that like concept art back during Comic-Con. But I looked at this trailer stills, and holy crap, like, this suit actually looks pretty sweet. It makes the Vulture look menacing, because he actually is kind of like a campy villain. In fact, most Spider-Man and Batman villains are campy, but with the way movies have been, like, they've made them practical, and this one actually looks practical too. His mask, even though it does kind of look reminiscent of a vulture, it looks like just like a jet fighter pilot mask, which that actually you would need that if you're flying at all these high altitudes that the Vulture is going to be at. I don't know like the extent of how he's going to get this suit. I know the Tinkerer has been confirmed to be in this movie. Maybe him, the Tinkerer, and whoever Shocker were are disgruntled Oscorp company members, or maybe like they're disgruntled Stark Tech people, or maybe Oscorp is a subsidiary of Stark Tech. I'm not sure. I would like be cool to see like the origins of that. Speaking of Shocker, he was absent for this trailer. He could have been one of those like robbers with the Avengers masks on, but that's not being confirmed or denied. And speaking of those robbers, they looked like they had some alien tech or maybe something from Oscorp or Stark. I'm not sure, but just like the way they were robbing this bank or whatever they were robbing, like that thing looked above their pay grade. I'm just going like, wait a minute, like what is that? And the Vulture looks like his tech like has some like arc reactor stuff / alien tech in it. I'm not 100% sure. They'll expand upon that more in the movie, hopefully. Another character noticeably absent is Donald Glover, aka Miles Morales. I'd call it right now, maybe he's an older interpretation of Miles Morales before he gets the spider powers. I'm not sure. All the fanboys and fangirls would be loving that because Miles Morales is an awesome character, and just I feel like it would be a huge missed opportunity to cast Donald Glover and not make him Miles Morales. But on that same page, I also get like where Marvel would come from if they didn't make him Miles Morales and say like, hey, like it was enough that we just brought him into this. And speaking of that, let's talk about some more Easter eggs. Whatever school Peter's at, this could be like that high class academy that Miles Morales was in the Ultimate Comics. And I almost think it is, but it could be Midway High or wherever Peter goes to high school. I apologize, Spider-Man fans. It's been a while since he's been in high school. But there's a mural, and there's like Howard Stark, the Roger Sterling version of Howard Stark is back there on one of the murals. And then if you'll blink and you'll miss this other one, but there's like a science class that Peter's in, and it's got like Einstein and all these other scientists, and then bam, Bruce Banner's right up there too. That's pretty cool. Michael Keaton also looks pretty menacing in this as well. Like I mentioned, he is the Vulture. I'm pretty sure it's 100% confirmed now that he is, and just like the way he's talking to us, going like, hey, if you like mess with me, I will kill you and everybody you love. And speaking of that, Marissa May shows up like one of those flashes there, and she's looking as good as ever. I'm just like, yes. I almost want Tony to like get with her, so he can almost be like an alive Uncle Ben, but he's still a dick because he's like being Iron Man, is doing his own thing. I'm not sure. These movies can do whatever they want with that, but I don't know. There was definitely some chemistry there with what little time they had in Civil War. We also get a scene very reminiscent of Spider-Man 2. There's like a ship that's like split in two, and like not Iron Man, Spider-Man's like trying to bring them back together. I'm just like, holy crap, like this is super sweet. And at the age that he is now compared to how old Tobey Maguire was when he was doing Spider-Man 2, like that seems like it's going to be a great feat. And we in this trailer, probably one of the most awesome like screenshots / like things to end it on. We get Spider-Man swinging, and then Iron Man's like right beside him, just like flying. I'm going like, holy crap, like that's straight from the comics. I love that. About all the fanboys are gushing over that too. I believe, isn't that reminiscent of something from Civil War? I'm not sure, but just when they team up like that, just so cool to see that in live action finally. And I don't know what else to make of this. This is an awesome trailer, but this is awesome. I'm totally going to see it. I can't wait to see it on the big screen when I go see Rogue One next week. But what do you guys think? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, when there's a web, there's a way. Thanks for watching.